So once again, the Democrats, corporate media, are trying to spin this narrative that everything's fine with Joe Biden. But yet, how many times have I played on this show? And also, how many times have other people in independent media across the political spectrum played videos of Biden looking like he is lost in the sauce, that he doesn't know where he's at? And once again, no matter what you do, Democrats, Biden 2024 campaign, no video out there makes Joe Biden look good. And recently, the White House and the Obama team decided to say, well, wait a minute, there's a video that's going viral. I know it's a video that's going viral that is making it seem like Joe Biden is being escorted off the stage. It's quite sad when you really look at it. Now, I'm going to have to keep it on mute because, of course, copyright music. But in this, you see a stage, a whole crowd of people, and there's Barack Obama and Joe Biden right there in the middle of the stage. They seem to be like they're having a fun time. However, just look at the body language. Look at how Biden is being escorted off the stage. Let's play it for all of you. And look, Jimmy Kimmel's right there too. Full-on desperation, full-on stupidity. And of course, it's a fundraiser. But everyone's there smiling, they're dancing. Jimmy Kimmel, Biden right there. But he's so unlively. And there, Obama grabs him, and slowly escorts Grandpa off the stage. I've seen this before. How many times has this played out? A guy who doesn't know where he's at. The emperor has no clothes. The emperor is a fool, a clown, a king of fools. And the only reason why I played it is because this article came out right now. White House Obama team dispute characterization of fundraiser video. So the White House and former President Obama's team disputed the characterization that Biden froze up on stage at a Los Angeles fundraiser and had to be let off the stage by the former president because everybody knows the signs. And listen, folks, this might be triggering for a lot of people because I've dealt with it too. But I think we've all seen the signs of when our loved ones or our friends are dealing with their loved ones battling through dementia and Alzheimer's. It is something that no one should go through. It is a very difficult subject to talk about. But look me in the eye and tell me how Biden does not exhibit the signs of a man who is way past his prime, both physically and mentally. If he's supposed to be the president of the United States, why must he be guided everywhere and be treated like a child? And I get it that the president must be protected by his aides and Secret Service. But there's a difference between this president and previous presidential administrations because Biden needs help. He is lost. He is tired. Hell, the man needs a CPAP machine to breathe at night, which means his brain isn't getting oxygen if he doesn't have that machine attached to him. So he needs help. This is a man who is not in his prime. Continuing on, the New York Post wrote about the video of Biden under the headline, Biden appears to freeze up and has to be let off stage by Obama at Megabucks LA fundraiser. Biden was in California on Saturday for a fundraiser that reportedly brought in more than $30 million, media had reported. The event was hosted by late-night host, crybaby Jimmy Kimmel. At the end of the event, both Obama and Biden were leaving the stage, waving goodbye to the crowd. Obama grabs Biden by the hand and pats him on the back before they walk away. The Hills reached out to the Biden-Harris campaign for comment, but Senior Deputy Press Secretary Andrew Bates denied the New York Post characterization of what happened. Fresh off being fact-checked by at least 6 mainstream news organizations for lying about President Biden with cheap fakes, Rupert Murdoch's sad little super PAC, the New York Post, is back disrespecting its readers and itself once again by pretending the president taking in an applause crowd for a few seconds is somehow wrong. Bates' statement said their ethical standards could deal with a little unfreezing. My goodness. In a post on social media platform X, Eric Schultz, Obama's senior advisor, reported the New York Post article and said this did not happen. So this did not happen. I'm going to play this video again. Now, you, my viewing audience, all of you, I'll have you make your own decision. Does it look like Biden is aware of his surroundings? Does it look like he's being escorted off the stage? Pay attention. I won't interrupt. I won't pause. Here we go. We're zooming in. There they are. There's Kimmel, Biden in the middle, and Obama on the side. Seems like everybody's applauding. And I do pity liberals and Democrats. Ah, he grabs his hand. All right, let's go. Let's go, buddy. Come on. We got to get off stage. Sounds like you crapped your pants again. Joe, let me be clear. I think this entire campaign is totally effed. And that's what's happening. Where am I, Jack? Are you my friend? Nope. No, Joe. I'm just working for the owners. Democrats, you seem to be in a whole other reality. But I want to pull up this video here. Shout out to Case Study QB. Because where would the Biden-Harris administration be without its most diehard sycophants? Hey, Harry from TikTok, that's going to be taken down. Tell me why you're not worried about his age. The fact that liberals and Democrats are in their own reality itself says a lot about them. And the thing is, they're going to be trying to bully all of you into thinking that if you don't support Biden, you're somehow a fascist or you're against democracy and you're a real bad person. Maybe I'm against elder abuse, but also for the fact is that Democrats, you made this. This is your creation. Live with it.
Poll after poll shows more voters have concerns about Biden's age, though, than they do Trump's. But the president is getting some help from a 21-year-old TikToker. Harry
TikTok? Aren't they being censored?
Sisson, whose videos pushing back on Trump have gotten as many as 15 million views.
Donald Trump is over there with his wealthy buddies at Mar-a-Lago saying, you get a tax cut, you get a tax cut, you get a it's nonsense. Just remember when Donald Trump said that he would date his own daughter. I mean, for a minute straight, Donald Trump talked about boats sinking, batteries, sharks, and water.
Okay. Yes. However, Biden is now look, maybe that wasn't a spot-on impression of Biden, but I hear him always stuttering and stammering and looking confused, like, where am I? I know they got to be writing you a good paycheck, but Harry, come on, where's your dignity at?
We have President Biden who talks about, wanting to lower healthcare costs, protecting the environment, giving women their reproductive rights back. Donald Trump is talking about that, whatever that was.
And Harry is out front now. So Harry, all right, just so everyone knows, you're in college now. You just finished your junior year. You've posted 560 videos just this year, meaning 2024, sticking up for Biden, pushing against his critics. So let me just ask you, as someone who just finished your junior year in college, how come? Why are you choosing to do this? It's obviously a huge investment of your time.
Look, there's just so much on the line right now, and this election is so important. And I think the choice couldn't be more clear. I've said before in my videos that I think this is the easiest choice that Americans will have to make in modern American history. Look, President Biden is incredibly accomplished, investing in infrastructure, lowering insulin costs, capping insulin at $35 a month, largest investment in fighting climate change in world history. I mean, the list is extensive. And that's an amazing resume to run on in and of itself. Then you look at the other side of the race. You have Donald Trump, the convicted felon, the proven sexual abuser, proven fraudster, who is not actually running on anything. He's running on like, I think Joe Biden's mean to me, the FBI sucks, and the DOJ is targeting me. That's his entire campaign.
So
now, this entire video is nothing more than a puff piece. I almost want to look at Harry and say, hey, dude, are you like purposely putting your face into Biden's Depends? Are you like purposely like sniffing it every time he takes a D-Day dump in his pants? Because this is downright pathetic. And all it is nothing more than a puff piece. But I want to pull up this video here as a counter. Because discussing young voters and their impact, social media influencers being critical of Biden, then losing access to the White House. So Harry, of course, he's got that access because he's probably getting that good DNC paycheck. But not a lot of other voters are getting that. Let's listen to this video from BSDNC.
It is axiomatic in politics that younger voters think differently about politicians and elections than their older cohorts. There are likely at least a few of you watching your 21 or 22-year-old kid come home from school talking about how mad they are about Joe Biden. And trust me, it can be confusing why young people vote the way that they do. It's like they can't understand what we're facing in a potential second Donald Trump administration.
No, people are aware, corporate media. People are very well aware, especially young people. especially Gen Z. You know what? And here's the thing. This is something that boomers, Gen Xers, millennials, Gen Z, we got to put aside our differences. We have to put aside what separates us. Because the unfortunate truth is that if we don't step aside, if we don't step up, how's that sound? If we don't step up, they're going to keep on walking over us. And we have to educate each other about how corrupt and weak the system is. But yet here's corporate media now talking down to people about, oh no, why are young people leaving Joe Biden? All young people should vote Democrat because the Democratic Party would never lie to you.
But I can tell you, it's not that they don't understand or that they're too wrapped up in their technology to care. Young people are very engaged. I see it every day with my students at Morgan State University. The point is that they are frustrated with the system and feel unheard and marginalized. That ends up manifesting itself in what they share and post on platforms like TikTok, which in turn informs how their peers view politics and dictates the outreach needed by a candidate to talk to them. Reporter Taylor Lorenz, who covers technology and online culture.
Taylor Lorenz, yes, a voice you could trust because she's not going to cry and scream out, I'm a victim! Ah!
Talk to some of these hyper-engaged folks for the Washington Post. And she joins me now, along with Santiago Mayer, the founder and executive director of Voters of Tomorrow. Taylor, thank you so much for this. Gen Z voters is my passion project, right? As a college professor and as someone who I never want to go into the get off my lawn guy. I think young people are very well engaged. But just give us a brief summary. What did you find out in talking to a lot of TikTok influencers? Why are they frustrated in Biden? What's changed between 2020 and now that's made them rethink the algorithm of whether or not they want to support the president?
You want to know why? Because TikTok was their bread and butter, and its Biden administration is just saying, hey, screw TikTok. And because they have to censor it, because all the imagery from Gaza, all the war crimes that are happening, a lot of those videos were shared on TikTok. And the thing is, you can't really deny it. You can't ignore it. And just so you all have that little memory flashback, the Biden-Harris administration knew damn well that Netanyahu was purposely targeting universities, civilian centers, residential homes, refugee centers. And the thing is, a lot of people can't really stomach that. Not to mention, anytime Biden has called for a ceasefire, he's been given a middle finger by Netanyahu and his fantastic friends. And of course, how can we not deny the fact that a lot of the problems that happened under Donald Trump are still ongoing? But Taylor Lorenz, everybody sit back. Taylor Lorenz is about to drop some knowledge onto all of you.
Yeah, well, hundreds of really prominent TikTok and YouTube and Twitch streamers, content creators with collectively hundreds of millions of followers, basically feel like Biden has abandoned his core campaign promises. They're upset that he hasn't made enough progress on climate. They're extremely upset about the situation in Gaza, which they feel like Biden is helping to facilitate by sending weapons. They're very upset that, Biden has not done anything to combat the COVID pandemic. And then they also really are upset. 67% according to this Morning Consult poll, said Biden's decision to ban TikTok makes them less likely to vote for him.
I want to give a shout out to Dana Fairbanks. She says, I don't have children, so I think Gen Z and millennials as my kids. I'm furious about the lack of student debt forgiveness, climate inaction, and now a draft. That's right. That's right, folks. There's a draft. So if you're a young person, now you don't have to now do it manually to sign up for the Ready Selective Service, but you're going to be automatically put in. Boot up and suit up, everybody. Look, I don't want to sound conspiratorial here, but kind of looks like they're planning something. So if you're a young person and this is happening right now, and not if, this is happening, I would be understandably pissed off too. This administration says it hears you, but it doesn't. And the thing is, to the younger generation, talk to boomers, Xers, and millennials. And the story is shockingly similar. We've all been screwed over by the system, and we all have to look out for each other. We cannot be just consumed by how social media divides us, be it by where we're from or what generation we're part of, the color of our skin, or who we worship. See, Democrats want you to feel guilty and to shut up and vote for them. They don't want you to think for yourself. But if you're not angry, you should be. We're not getting any real benefit in this whole system that we have with the Democratic Party or the Republican Party or corporate media. Now, Taylor, the reason why a lot of these social media influencers, again, are maybe backing away from Biden is because they might be losing what's earning them income.
Yeah, now that is one that I have heard a tremendous amount about, because TikTok isn't just a place to hang out and play. It's also a place where people make money. Santiago, I got to ask you this, because this is something, as a political science professor, as a political scientist, I always think about. There's a big difference between being politically engaged and politically involved, right? Lots of people like to go online and scream. It doesn't mean they're necessarily voting. When you do work in getting sort of future voters involved, do you find that the people who are posting on TikTok, the people who are still posting on Instagram and YouTube, do they actually tend to change people's votes, or are they just sort of yelling into an echo chamber?
Well, first of all, Jason, thanks so much for having me. I think, listen, we know that the most effective messengers for young people are their friends, their classmates, their people in real life. And obviously, online media and social media is a phenomenal tool to spread your message.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it is the conversations that people are having with their peers that will dictate how they vote. And that is why at Voice of Tomorrow, we're building an incredible relational organizing program that will have millions of conversations across the country in college campuses and in parties and bars, everywhere young people gather, about what the contrast is, because the contrast this election could not be clearer.
So let's talk about this. I'm going to pull up a video here. It's Biden. Biden and corporate media and the shield wall that's surrounding the lie that is Joe Biden. Listen, young people, I'm not going to tell you what to do on election night, and I'm not going to endorse a single candidate for this election cycle, because I personally feel that this election cycle, yes, it's the most interesting, but it's also the most hilarious. It is the great reveal about how incompetent the whole system is. The Democratic Party does not have your best interests at heart. Neither does the Republican Party. But we are witnessing now, in this day and age, how the media will lie to you and tell you that everything's fine. This was a collage video of corporate media not only defending Biden and his senile moments, but Biden himself acting senile and confused. Don't look me in the eye and tell me that there isn't a whole treasure trove of videos that can show Biden being the worst person for this job. The emperor doesn't know what's going on. The emperor has no clothes. And yet the Democratic Party wants to convince you that he's better than Trump. Now, I don't want to see a Trump presidency, but Democrats, you made this. Now you have to own it.
Start your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth. This version of Biden is the best Biden ever.
She knows so long as she was 9.
In fact, I think he's better than he's ever been.
President Biden has a photographic memory. His understanding and mastery of a complicated geopolitical situation is remarkable.
He is sharp, intensely probing, and detail-oriented and focused.
Jackie, are you here? Where's Jackie? I didn't think she was going to be here.
I was sitting, 2 feet from him across the table, and he was, intense.
Have trouble walking sometimes? Yeah, so did FDR. He wanted GD war.
But he's totally focused. He's very sharp.
They say he's sharp in meetings and so on.
Very lucid, very well informed. Biden is stately. He comes with gravitas. There hasn't been, as far as I know, a single claim that Biden made a mistake. Ageism is an issue. Americans have a rich history of holding people's physical characteristics against them. Okay, you can ask African Americans.
He's older. That doesn't mean that he is unfit, and there's a lot of ageism there.
Now, this age attack, this obsession by the right, Joe.
Hold on. With a face like that, you know she's lying. I mean, come on. Her entire body wants to scream out, "It's all a lie! The man craps his pants all the time!" He honored the D-Day troops by doing his own D-Day in his pants. He had to be walked off stage with Obama holding his hand. And for those in my audience, if you've taken care of an elderly relative, or you've seen your friends or coworkers taking care of an elderly relative, you've seen how it works. You've seen the body language, how they walk, how they talk. It is something uncomfortable to really discuss. But again, the reason why I'm bringing it up is because Biden is running for the highest office of the land, and the Democrats and all their jagoffs on social media want to convince you that they are what? That they are on point, that this is the guy that's going to beat Trump. Everybody sees this. Everybody's talking about it. And you've got these people who get that paycheck from the DNC saying, oh, if you don't vote for Biden, Trump's going to bring in fascism. Well, gee, if that's the case, why is it that nothing's fundamentally changed since Biden took over? The kids are still in cages. Our infrastructure's falling apart. We have unchecked corruption. The rich are getting richer. We have these ridiculous regime change wars. Banks and Wall Street and hedge fund managers are being bailed out. And the American people don't have 2 cents to rub together, okay? They don't have that. And every time I see this, and when I go live, I hear the same stories from my viewing audience about how they're going to try to struggle or how they're trying to make by. This is a sick system that just doesn't work. And you're going to try and tell me, liberals, that Biden is your dog? He's your fighter? He's your champion? Look, here's the thing. You could tell a lie. Yes, everybody's capable of telling a lie. And sometimes people can tell a lie that's really convincing and that could pass off as the truth. But all lies have this problem, and that is they fall apart. They break. Even lies that seem to last for years, they will fall apart and falter. All lies will be revealed. But the thing is, Democrats, if you're going to lie, put effort into it, because no matter what video you do that makes Biden look sharp, no matter what kind of script you give corporate media, at the end of the day, Biden's going to crap his pants and stutter and stammer and look like a clown. And I'll be talking about this tomorrow and the day after and the day after that and after that. But I'm not the only one that sees it. Everybody sees it. And no one wants a senile old goat to be the commander-in-chief. This is how empires fall.
A lot of ageism there.
Now, this age attack, this obsession by the right, Joe Biden may not be able to speak for himself the way that he used to.
They want to think is to take on government if we get out of line, which they're talking again about, and that's him lying around.
I think people should be speaking up for Joe Biden.
Americans and reporters in the media are just judging him by a physical appearance, and it's horribly unfair. Age is an asset.
He showed exactly how with it he is.
The flip side of this coin is that he has a tremendous amount of wisdom and experience.
Have you heard any concerns from anyone who has met with President Biden about him seeming a little slower?
No. More wild speculation from a bunch of people who have probably never been in a room with Joe Biden and certainly don't have medical degrees that I'm aware of.
You don't get paid for performance to be
The man was sleeping.
president. The job is not a job of endurance. I don't see Donald Trump out bike riding like Joe Biden.
It's the Hillary's email. All they have is that he's old. He can clear a dementia bar, and that's probably a win.
The media are not fair, and they're getting less and less fair, and things are frightening. You have Wall Street Journal running a horribly sourced piece saying that Biden is unfit.
Dubious Wall Street Journal report about the president's acuity. Shoddy story by the Wall Street Journal questioning Biden's mental fitness.
Wall Street Journal story had a lot of flaws, as you said.
Hey, Brian Seltzer, no one asked you. Did you get fired from CNN? Hey, Seltzer boy, back off the stage, all right? Go ahead, but hey, it's fine, folks. Listen to how corporate media still has to spin it, because now it's going to become a Coca-Cola classic disinformation that Biden is not senile.
But Sinclair, they didn't do any original reporting. They didn't follow up. They didn't do any work.
Here today is Hirsch Goldberg Poland is still, he is not here with us, but he's still being held by Hamas.
But a huge part of the Mueller report talks about Russian disinformation tactics. And one of the themes this election cycle is that Joe Biden is too...
Russian disinformation. So now it's the Russians' fault. It's Russia's fault that Biden crapped his pants.
Too old to lead. And so everyone is seizing upon this. And it is a classic disinformation tactic. And I think the best thing that we can...
It's a Coca-Cola classic disinformation tactic. So what can we take away from this? Well, I don't want to play those videos of MSNBC or CNN interviewing Harry, or either that was Taylor Lorenz talking about how, we got to reach out to young people and age isn't an issue. It is an issue. When you're commander-in-chief, looks stunned and confused, dazed and tired, then he's got to go. There's no argument. There's no real legitimate argument that liberals, diehard vote blue no matter who, or anyone part of the Biden-Harris campaign can say that can really convince every one of us that they are worth our time and our vote. This is a system and an administration that is dedicated in maintaining a lie and trying to pass it off like everything's fine, even though the whole building's on fire. I'm supposed to waste my time and energy and say that, oh, Biden's A-okay? No, I'm sorry, liberals, Democrats. I know that a lot of you are still triggered by Trump. I know a lot of you are emotionally immature, but it tells me that you're not serious people. And the fact that many people are in denial about Biden's age should tell all of you, my viewing audience, that these pundits, these TikTok influencers, and these people that say, oh, if we don't vote for Biden, then Trump's going to become Hitler 2.0, are not serious people. What they are is that they are triggered by Donald Trump. Trump more or less reveals what they are, probably on the inside, because a lot of these people who are diehard critical of Trump, who are really suffering from Trump derangement syndrome, personally, probably most likely, are just like Trump or wish they could be like Trump. They're projecting, and they're trying to put on this act like we got to save democracy. How could we save democracy when our system's been bought? How can we save democracy when our politicians serving the United States Senate and House are doing insider trading? How can we save democracy when our media and anyone of authority is in collective denial about Biden's mental decline? So, yeah, Jimmy Kimmel can host a mighty fundraiser for Joe Biden. But is Biden in charge? Is he the lion at the gate? Is he the warrior that people really expect him to be? No. He's a man who's always tired. He's a man who's always confused. He's a man in decline. And this is the best we can do as a country. The full-on bottom of the barrel. A last desperate attempt by liberals so that they don't have to cry on TikTok if Donald Trump gets reelected. You're going to pick a senile old man as your champion. I don't know how November will play out, but numbers don't lie. And my viewing audience, and I've been seeing people post on social media about the turnouts for the Democratic primary and throughout the various states. These have been abysmal numbers for the Democrats in comparison to 2016 and in 2020. These have been pathetic numbers. Enthusiasm is key. And the fact that even undecided had 36 potential delegates for the DNC convention coming here between August 19th to the 22nd, Biden is in trouble. And if he has to be dragged off stage, walked off stage, or either that has to be babysat like how the Italian prime minister did at the G7 event, liberals, I don't feel sorry for you, but I am going to laugh at you if Trump gets reelected and all of you are having a meltdown. In fact, I'm looking forward to seeing my Discord share so many videos with me as, hey, did you see this person cry? Did you see this person cry? And that's all what you're going to do. This is how it's going to play out, liberals. You're going to cry and you're going to start blaming anybody that didn't support Biden. The best thing we could do as a country is not support either Trump or Biden. Break away from the two-party system. Because I will not give up my integrity and my values to support a system and to acknowledge a media system that's supposed to be authoritative if they are not going to have a serious conversation about the decline of the commander-in-chief, the president of the United States. All the videos are out there, and perception drives reality. And the reality is Biden is too old for the job. So go cry a river, liberals. I'll be laughing.